Good morning, Richland County. It is 9:30 a.m. Tuesday, February 21st. Shrove Tuesday, as it were. Richland County Board of Commissioners is now in session. I am Commissioner Cliff Mears, joined by fellow commissioners Tony Barrow, Daryl Banks, Clerk Stacy Crawl, Andrew Keller, our county administrator, Steve McLaughlin, all the way from Shelby. We have media representative Greg Kale from WMFD, Richland Source Carl Hunnell, and online we have Lawrence. First order of business is to certify the record of proceedings for February 16th.
Just one small correction, Stacy, great job on the NECIC discussion. And you encapsulated it very well. I just noted where it says where there was a question on to provide a complete budget with staffing needs. It says Deanna stated she could mail one. I believe she said she could email one.
Yep.
That would be the correction I have.
I have and also,
Amendment to the amendment?
yes. In tape number 0.38.51. Statement that says there is a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding what was asked for, period. And I believe if you look in Carl Hunnell's article of October the 12th, last year, it states what I asked for and was told by Deanna that I would receive that. I think that should be either stricken or given as someone said it, not as a statement.
Say that again, Daryl. I'm not following the amendment.
Okay, I think we should strike. There is a misunderstanding of what was asked for. Or we give somebody credit for saying that. That is an untrue statement. According to Carl Hunnell's article of October the 12th.
But do we know, but the minutes reflect, I'm not saying we don't have that, but the minutes just reflect what was said. So do,
Okay, then give someone credit. Right now, it just states it. It should say Deanna said or somebody said.
Oh, yeah, the way it reads, it looks like you said it.
Yeah,
okay.
so give somebody credit for it, but don't give me credit for it.
Do we have a motion to approve with amendments?
You want to strike it? What do you want to do with it then? Or do you want me to put in there? I believe there was a misunderstanding.
I would say that with that she believes that is probably pretty accurate. He's wrong. That's what we're doing.
Okay. So who's moving?
Daryl, you want to move?
Oh, I'll move.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes,
Commissioner Banks,
Yes,
Barrow.
Yes.
I have a motion to,
So moved.
Mears,
yes,
Commissioner Banks,
yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
next before us is an authorization for termination of a Dayspring probationary employee by the name of Elise Beatty.
So Aaron didn't add a date.
Oh, she said effective is, yes.
Right, so what would? Daryl, do you have a date on when they would like it to be or her last day worked?
I do not. I would assume.
I guess just make it the date of the letter.
I would think that would cover it.
Okay, motion to terminate effective February 16, 2023.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes,
Commissioner Banks,
Yes,
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
next we have before us an annual agreement between the SEA and the Sheriff's Department, which I believe is called the 4D.
That's from Title 4D of the Social Security Act. You should read the whole Social Security Act.
Should do that, yeah. Spare time. We'll do that.
Motion to approve.
second,
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Some months ago, we talked about changing the globe lights out front to be architecturally consistent with the building, and we Bought those, we have those in stock, and now we have proposal Lake Erie Electric to actually install them for a cost of where?
It's weird. It's
3365.
in the,
Oh, it's in bold print there, $3,365.
Spoke to Josh this morning. We don't have a timetable, but he believes it should be pretty soon. I don't know if you noticed on social media from local organizations. I don't know if it was just timing, but you've been seeing pictures of the courthouse with globe lights circulating, so it should look pretty cool. Josh says he hopes to have this done sooner rather than later, so I'll make the motion that we pay for that out of Richland Reinvestment, Stacy.
yes.
Second that, and the reason that we haven't got it done yet is he's waiting for the ground to either freeze or rain, whichever comes first, in order to get the truck out on the
I thought you were just gonna go on a ladder and do it yourself.
anything above. You know, we had to cut this down. I always kid about it being so you could be seen, but it's also, I get a little nervous at heights.
So these are not gonna change colors or anything like that.
They can't, at least not now. They don't have the technology from what we look, but I would love for that to happen, so
Christmas time,
I
really.
know. We'll look at it.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
Okay, that covers us until 10 o'clock. Any questions, Al, out there for what we've looked at so far?
Yeah, what was that thing with the sheriff's office, social security? What was that for?
Al, it's an annual contract. The sheriff's office, besides just having people stationed, they do the service. When you have to serve court papers, so it's a total of 2 officers and it includes cruisers, equipment, fringes, the whole package there of fringes. So we're just serving.
Okay, fine with me.
And else,
Carl, anything? Okay. It is 9:37. The Board of Commissioners will then go into recess until 10 o'clock when we will discuss the Belleville sewer project.
Proud.
Well, good morning. It's 10 o'clock. Washington County Board of Commissioners is back in session. Since our 9:30 meeting, we're joined by a couple of people who have joined us. One is David Morgenstern. The other is Amanda Miller, Director of our wastewater treatment plant, and Patrick Schwann, Electrical Engineering. We're here to discuss some engineering services for the infrastructure, proposed infrastructure in the Belleville area. So with that, I will turn it over to Amanda, Patrick, whoever you'd like to begin this discussion.
Okay, sure. Thank you for inviting me to attend the meeting. And we're very much looking forward to getting started on this project. It looks like there's a big laundry list of things that would be like to be done in connection with all of the work down there in Belleville. A lot of it we had some involvement in back when it was originally installed as far as our company is concerned. So we have some of that history. And we have a lot of history, obviously, around this area, working on things. So we actually are going to work on this in parts. The first part, after we had some conversations initially, was to kind of define what it's going to look like as far as meeting whatever the budget that you're going to have available for doing the work down there, and trying to make sure that all of the items are addressed, looking at either some of the potential future development or upcoming development that's occurring along the corridor, and then actually the future needs of the facility, including upgrades to some of the existing facilities that are already out there that have outlived their lifespan or whatever. They're ready for some upgrades and some improvements. So first part is really just the data collection stage to define what we're going to have, and then however that looks like, Amanda and I will work together to define really the scope of what will actually be in the detailed design and the development of the final design plans that will be used to bid out for the project when it's all compiled. But initially, like I said, a lot of collection of data. I'm working with the agencies to make sure, and working with Amanda to make sure that everything that the county has in service or will be maintaining is addressed. And then again, looking at some of the things that are being planned in the area. So
yeah, we're very excited about looking at doing this upgrade project down in Belleville. As you know, we had a force main break a couple of weeks ago that we had to go down and repair. The is aging, and it is being pushed with all the new development that is committed.
Serious one that was down there.
Yes, so it has been a unique area, and it needs a lot of attention. I'm happy to say we're moving forward with this contract to do that.
The scope include finding out what the capacity of the regional sewer plant located in Butler can handle.
yes, I mean, that is the intent, is that's the downstream
Yeah.
election or whatever, and what
Oh.
we have
That will
contribute to.
I assume you're gonna research and know before you start most anything else, I would assume.
Yeah, everything's got to obviously go there.
Yeah.
So,
We can't make decisions downstream without knowing what downstream can handle.
yeah.
This is my first one, so I'm not sure what all we need.
Andrew?
That's,
You've got questions?
we had some discussions, or I saw some communications about GIS accuracy. Is that all satisfactory?
Well, we do have our GIS system set up for the most part, but we're in most of it when we put it together. Part of it was that we do it within 36 inches. And so not everything is literally right on it, but we get you within 36 to 42 inches of the location of the manhole or that. So we'll be determining how far off we are down in Belleville if we have to go back and do some re-hitting of those lines to make sure that we are right on them.
So, the first thing when we start with is all available existing data, GIS, LiDAR data and things of that sort to use for some preliminary mapping. And then we can define the things that need to have, field survey work that needs to be picked up or whatever and locates. I mean, obviously flow lines. Flow lines and those things are obviously critical for getting things where they need to be. Those things will be more defined or whatever, but whatever GIS data is available, that's what we'll start with. And then define whatever more detailed information that we have to identify and pick up as we move forward. So.
Mr. Bureau, anything?
Do we have a timetable? And I understand with supply chains, we're not gonna hold you to it, so please. Do we have a timetable on when we feel the entire project will be done?
So if I'm not incorrect, right, the funds have to be used by the end of 2024, right?
Appropriate them, the project needs to be done by the end of 2026.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, we're probably spend this year, so 2023, doing the preliminary and then work towards the detailed design with hopes of, we'll bid this out sometime next year. Obviously, the sooner the better. Winter is always the best months, as everybody knows. I mean, that's always discussed. I would assume the lift station is going to be the biggest lead time. Pipe materials have become less of a problem. Lining is something it's common. Just availability of contractors. I mean, you see all kinds of projects going out now. That will probably be my bigger concern than supply chain is making sure we got contractors available. There's just a lot of projects that are coming out and come online, similar to what your investment is here for your project. Is that making sure we're keeping the public in tune, which is kind of what this is now as well, because contractors start to put this on their list of things that are upcoming that they can plan for accordingly. And this is a sizable project. So this is going to attract a lot of interest. So I would say I don't know that we're going to be complete in 2024. I would say you're probably talking about 2025 or whatever, sometime completion.
Well, within the time frame.
Well, within the time frame of whatever the commitments need to be.
It sounds like you're suggesting we'll break ground about a year from now, if all goes well.
Yeah, if all goes well or whatever, it'll be sometime, next year. I'm not sure. This is February, so I mean, we might be talking like March or April or something like that might be a reasonable estimate of whenever we might be actually awarding or contracting someone to get started on the project. So, and then from there, it'll be like you mentioned, getting materials available. There might be some components that can start right away. But sometimes they won't start until they have a bulk of whatever they're going to do because they don't want to start and stop. And we don't want them to do that either, whatever, when we get a project get started or whatever, because nobody wins when that happens or whatever, efficiency and things. So.
You mentioned lining. Is this a lot of this project going to be lining the pipes that are already there?
Right now, we have a lot of vitrified clay that's down in the areas of where the restaurant and the gas stations are down there. And that is the plan, is to line those with cure in place pipe
That would be less interruption,
to those businesses. Yes, that's the plan.
traffic and everything.
Mike,
Oh, go ahead.
we're antsy to get started. We've been talking about it for several months. We're excited to have Mr. Schwan with Richland Engineering helping the county on this project. It's been last September, I think, was the last major public conversation. We, of course, published the RFQ. We've had productive conversations. And just, Mr. Schwan referenced it's a big project. Just as a reminder, we're talking about, as I recall, 3,400 linear feet of replacement pipe on the force main. So this is the force main line, that's iron, that's on the east side headed toward Belleville. And then 18,000 linear feet approximately of the cure in place that would, be installed inside of the existing vitrified clay. That's the gravity.
And potentially a lift station or two, right, to accommodate any future development out there. Because
Absolutely.
the purpose of this is twofold, right? Let's maintain what we have, but while we go in and maintain, also make the system capable to handle future development.
Yep. And in fact, the existing lift station is going to be upgraded. Currently, it's below ground. It's going to be brought above ground with, submersible lift station, increased capacity. We've talked about another lift station concept as well, further upstream, closer to the interchanges.
Your loves.
Yeah.
We can accommodate development on both sides.
Right.
Excellent.
So this will be paid through ARPA. That's the proposal.
That's our intention, yes.
Any other discussion needed for the contract that the proposal rather on the expenditure?
Today, there is a notice of award,
$43,344.
owner engineer contract with REL. And so the commissioners would approve the notice of award and then would also approve entering into a contract with REL as the most qualified design firm, submitted proposals in response to our RFQ.
Can I have a motion for approval of the ARPA expenditure?
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
And could I have a motion for approval of the contract with Richland Engineering Venture Group?
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
yes.
Commissioner Rivera.
Yes.
Okay, any comments or questions from the media? Carl, you're first.
Oh, just a couple. The dollar amount of the contract that was just,
$43,344.
and just to make sure I understand, that is to do exactly what? Design the project?
This would be,
Yeah,
We're calling it the preliminary design phase of the project. Obviously, there's going to be a need for additional engineering services as the project goes on. But as Mr. Schwan indicated, this would primarily consist of data gathering and conversations with Amanda and Andrew as what will be necessary to finish the project.
It's not to design it, it's to figure out.
right, to define the scope of whatever the final design will be and whatever the final product that we're gonna be constructing.
Which would, I would presume, include the final cost, correct?
It is preliminary design, probable cost estimate, and included within preliminary design will be conceptual drawings.
Now, last time this was talked about in September, I think there was no dollar amount listed, but I think, Tony, you had said you were looking at seven figures. Is that still kind of what?
I think Andrew said that first, so let's credit the author. But yes, we're not trying to be shifty here, and I understand when politicians saying that, but yes, we expect the investment to be seven figures. That's up to Mr. Schwan to get us the best price, but also good quality, so no pressure.
Trying to look back, we talked about it.
He's reading his own material. How about that, right? Do you have to credit yourself then when you say it, or how's that work? You have to cite yourself?
I just, when I misquote you, I like to make sure I've got it right.
That's just on regular, isn't it?
That's all I got right now.
Okay, Al, do you have anything?
Yes, in your mind. Yeah. How do you spell your last name, Mr. Schwan?
SCHWAN.
Just wanted to make sure. That's the only question I had. Thank you.
When you're talking seven figures, are we talking seven figures, $1 million, or seven figures, $9 million? Like what, I know you need to bid the project out, but can you narrow that a little bit?
The sad part is that's why we're doing the preliminary, is because we don't know how to narrow that down just yet until we gather all the data together and have the discussions on what we're trying to do. We don't want to put a figure on it and say one way or the other until we've had the time to discuss it and get through this.
And Amanda, if you can just kind of talk about the investment, like we're talking increasing flow so we could see, obviously there's a big sports complex, but like additional hotels, restaurants, those types of, I guess, is that what we're looking at? Maybe.
Right now, we're looking at, as far as the county side of things, we're looking with the age of the system and everything, the pumps that we have, that we're reaching the capacity that we're in contract to send to downstream. And with commitments that we have right now with the new hotel that's being built and everything else. We know that we're going to end up with need for more capacity and bigger pumps and just more accessibility down there. And this project's coming at a great time to be able to do that so that we can help with the development that's trying to come in all the way around. It'll be a long-term investment and a great investment of the funds that we are receiving from ARPA to help strengthen the infrastructure that we have. I hope that everything works out as planned so that we can eventually convey it to Belleville in a great condition and ready to keep working for many years to come.
I know you're gonna do this study, but this is eventually all that waste gets treated in Butler. So
Yes,
you do have to figure out the capacity of that plant a bit.
yes, we need to get in discussions with the Butler and Belleville administration and determine what capacity is where, since they do have a regional agreement to treat sanitary waste. Right now, our agreement is primarily with Belleville to what we can send to there, and it's incorporated. But any future upgrade capacity, we will have to talk to the both of those.
Good.
Motion to approve.
You already did
We
it.
already did. Take backs.
No, too late.
Motion.
Oh.
Any
I've got
comments?
one quick question.
Oh, no,
if I
Al,
could.
you already had your question. You can't go back. We said no take backs.
No, you didn't, not at the beginning of this. You may have said a long time ago, but not today. Real quick, remind me how much ARPA funds have you committed to this?
$43,344
All right, so far.
So far,
So far.
so far.
Okay, so, and so you've got at least until they finish their preliminary work and start getting on design phase before you need to decide how much you have committed then.
Yeah, it'll probably be half your salary, Al.
Yeah, thank you. It may be 10% of Carl's.
anything else, Al?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, it is 10:17 and we will recess till 10:30, where we will go into executive session to discuss a review or proposal of floor care. 10:30 a.m., the Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session. A motion to go into executive session. Review of custodial cleaning and floor care.
Move.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Rivera.
Yes.
Guys for all that work on this. Taxpayers.
It's been a challenging one. Do you have just a second, Ingrid?
Stacy, there was no sound.
Oh,
Okay,
could you,
we awarded the floor care contract. I can send you the information.